So many are wondering what can be done to ease the gridlock on Capitol Hill for the good of the country and for the good of the parties. Lisa Borders and Jonathan Miller think they have a solution. They are co-founders of No Labels, a movement which seeks to mobilize frustrated Democrats, Republicans, and independents into a political force to end dysfunction in Washington. Lisa is joining us from San Francisco, Jonathan in Lexington, Kentucky. Okay, Lisa, you first. So what is No Labels really all about? Who would be on board?
Well, good to be with you, Fredricka. No Labels is about a citizens movement. In your last piece, you talked about kingmakers. Last time I checked, this was a democracy. And those of us in No Labels, which includes Republicans, Democrats, and independents, are very interested in making Congress work. Today, as has always been the case, our Congress is supposed to help us solve problems in this country, and it's not being done. So anyone that's fed up with the gridlock in Washington and the inaction and the inability of us to move forward as a nation would be interested in joining and participating with No Labels.
So it sounds like you're really appealing to the electorate.
We absolutely are. We have already mobilized 435 congressional districts by putting a leader in every single one of them, working from the grassroots, a bottom-up approach, as opposed to those in office who believe they get to rule with impunity and use their votes as they see fit. That's absolutely inappropriate. So what we're asking is to have Congress work, have a common sense approach, a bipartisan collective effort to move the country forward, not left, not right, but forward.
Well, Jonathan, but it doesn't seem the problem is with the electorate, but the elected. So how do you get them on board?
Well, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert, Fredricka. In a couple weeks, December 13th, No Labels is going to introduce a plan that we're working right now with our grassroots activists across the country to make Congress work, to figure out ways to break the gridlock and to put pressure on the folks in Washington to stop acting in such a hyper-partisan way, but to act together for the good of the country. You know, Jimmy Kimmel's idea about a poison cupcake probably is not going to make our list, but how about the idea if the Congress doesn't pass a budget, they don't get paid? That's the kind of common sense idea that we're going to be looking at. And if you stay tuned to us in December 13th, we're going to have a lot of really good ideas that hopefully will get this thing turned around.
Well, going into the super committee with No Labels, wasn't that the intent, that you'd have 6 members on each side who would come to the table and talk and try to, massage a plan, come up with some consensus? That didn't happen. So how is this No Labels campaign to reach even those members of the super committee, which initially, I guess everyone was convinced that they would be reaching across the aisle? Lisa?
Well, that was the expectation, and clearly the expectation wasn't met, Fredricka. And so what we intend to do is put together a scorecard which identifies those electeds who are actually using the No Labels approach, who are coming in not with the chronic disease of myopia by standing in their corners with their parties, but who are willing to work with one another on a regular basis, not just doing something called a super committee. There should not have been a need for a super committee, and clearly they failed. And so what we'd like to do is educate the electorate, motivate them to be not only passionate about America, but to watch what's going on in America, and then translate that passion into action and tell their representatives, both congressional and the senators, that we are not comfortable with the behavior that's occurring in Washington today, that we actually want to see them work together for the good of the country. And so what we expect to do is bring the pressure to bear, the political pressure from those of us who vote every single election, who want to make sure that the nation is moving forward.
So along with this, you're proposing there would be a code of conduct, and it is stated as such, be civil in public discourse and behavior, and stand against incivility wherever it is encountered. Treat respectfully those with whom you differ. Take evidence seriously. As the late Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan put it, you are entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts. Are you proposing, Jonathan, that this would be similar to the doctrine that Grover Norquist came out with, that Republicans signed this commitment that there would be no increase of taxes? Are you proposing that this code of conduct is something that lawmakers would sign and would endorse?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Norquist Pledge, because one of the things that we are seriously considering as part of our Make Congress Work package is the idea that congressmen can no longer take pledges except to the flag and to the country. That when you lock yourself into a particular issue or special interest or ideology, then there's no room for bipartisanship. Instead, we're going to be using two methods to try to change the behavior and to make Congress work better. First of all, we're going to propose a number of rules changes so that Congress will be forced to meet together more often, to have more civil discussion, and to work on ways to improve the bipartisanship. But secondly, and this is where your viewers can come in, come to nolabels.org, sign up or look into our programming, and as we build our movement, we're going to be putting pressure on Congress to work together in a bipartisan way. Right now, Congress is under pressure from the extremes, the Democrats from the far left, the Republicans from the far right. We want to put pressure from the great American people who want them to work together.
Okay. Jonathan Miller, Lisa Borders, keep us posted on the progress of the No Labels campaign.
Thank you, Fredricka.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.